You're worth it. You deserve it. You deserve to be treated as a guest of honor. The Meant for More live show with your hosts Amy Schmidt and Kristen Coffield. Let's get this party started. Hello, my friend.
Hello, how are you?
Wednesday night again. Can you believe it? It's like
and you have power now.
Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, the East yesterday got hit pretty darn hard. I know other parts of the country too are getting some rain, but we live in this antique house, and I'm telling you, thank goodness Tim was not traveling yesterday, because he even said, and he doesn't very often say that, I'm really happy I was home, because the water would come down in sheets. It was really crazy.
It's scary when that happens, because there's really nothing you can do.
Yeah, it was one of those days, but here we are, full power, and welcome everybody to the Meant for More live show. I can't believe it's Wednesday night, and I have to give a little shout out to Brenda, who is actually going late to book club tonight because she's watching the show.
I love Brenda.
How cool is that? I mean, that's amazing. So Brenda, thank you for watching us. We so appreciate it, because we know it's 4:00 on the West Coast. We've got actually a West Coast guest tonight, 7:00 here on the East Coast, 6 on Central Time. So, people are getting ready for dinner, or who knows, but thank you for joining us.
Well, I hope Brenda's going to have some wine at book club.
I think she will. I have a feeling most of our watchers, I think, are enjoying some sort of cocktail about now. But I got to say, a little shout out for segment 2. You want to stick around for this? Yeah. We got a great show tonight. We have got a great show. So like we say every week, I'm Amy Schmidt. This is my fabulous, over here. Yeah, Kristen Coffield. We're kind of
Amy Schmidt, and we're in my kitchen. And Amy, I think we're actually in your kitchen too.
We are. Not that I do a lot of cooking in this kitchen, but I do a lot of sitting in this kitchen and eating a lot. But But the kitchen is the heart of the home. It's the heart of the home. It certainly is. And we have a little fireplace back here. And I know as we get more into the winter months, that thing will be kicking off some heat when we're doing this show, because it's already, next week is daylight savings. Next week, it's going to even be darker, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. Never a big fan of that. But so we already had somebody say hello. We are so excited. Look at that. Sheila's in New York City. We're so excited. And the best part about this show, what we love, is that it's so engaging. So welcome, whoever's watching, wherever you're watching. Please let us know and give us a little shout where you're watching from, and a little hello. And of course, questions for our guests, because they really are the experts around everything here tonight. And that's what we love about it, is we really want to inspire you to action, to doing something different in your life, to really, pushing that needle a little bit, right? That's the latest saying, pushing the needle.
And we've got some of my favorite topics tonight. So I'm particularly excited.
Yeah, you've been excited for this for a while. We're talking about getting moving, getting strong, and staying healthy. I mean, that's the trifecta of awesomeness right there. So I think,
and I'm all about hydration.
Oh, I know.
So the fact that we are talking about, using water intentionally, and that there is water that even has other benefits, I'm very excited.
I know. And you've got me drinking my water like crazy too. And it's so good. And it's something we forget about. So we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about walking. We're going to be talking about getting strong. And, we're going to kick it off tonight, because we always start with a love it or hate it. We've been talking about golf, and there was a method of our madness about golf, because we'll be talking about that a little later in the show. But today we're talking about those QR codes. Christy, the wizard behind the show here, there it is. Look at that. Love it or hate it. Those restaurant QR codes. Kristen, go ahead. What do you think? Love it or hate it?
Well, at first I hated it, because I didn't really know how to do it. And now I really love it, because I like to have control of the menu, and I like the fact that it's clean. It's not, because sometimes you go to a restaurant, the menu, you don't know who's touched it, or it's laminated. It's kind of yucky. So
that's true. That's true. They're everywhere around here on this coast. I'm sure we'll ask Jill too when she comes out if they're on the West Coast too, but they're everywhere. You know, I'm a little bit more on the hate it. And why is because I try to disconnect from this thing. Yeah. Like when I go out to dinner, I don't particularly want this sitting on the table. But you know what? I see both views. I'm kind of a fan of like, well, and that's probably not good either. I'm going to get people not liking the fact if we have paper menus and they dispose of them, because that's not good either, right? But I don't know. It's interesting. So tell us in the comments, you know, if you're loving it or hating those QR codes, because I think it's kind of where we are.
I think it's kind of like pumping gas. We didn't really like to pump gas when we first had to do it. And now I can't even imagine waiting for somebody to come out and like pump my gas for me. So I think it's, you know, and I just have to put this out there, this sort of bigger picture. Restaurants are really struggling right now. Yeah. And out of all the industries, restaurants are struggling the most to get employees and continue to provide the service that people expect. So if I've got to use a QR code, yeah, and it saves them a little money, and it saves the waiter, it saves them time because now the waiter doesn't have to deliver them. I think it's the direction things are going, and I think we have to look at it in the bigger picture, that restaurants are still really struggling, and we've got to be more patient and more positive.
Yeah, you know, I see that too. I see both sides of it. So it's been an interesting little love it or hate it, I think, because we've gotten a lot of, if you go to the Meant for More Facebook group, it's Meant for More Network. There's a whole little, you know, comments from women and men that are talking about this very thing. And so it's a good one. I thought that was kind of an interesting one for love it or hate it. You know, Kelly, hi, Kelly. I know Kelly's watching in, I think, Maryland. I can't remember. Yeah, chilly there tonight. So I think the weather's a changing. Before we bring out our great guest tonight, we have three incredible guests. I wanted to take a minute and Kristen and I just talked before the show, and I didn't know if I was going to talk about this at the beginning or if I was going to save it to the end, but I'm going to talk about it at the beginning. It's close to my heart. I know that there's several people watching tonight that may have watched the show. We did a live show, last year, well, it was 2021, and we did a show with Allison Lambatis, and we talked about the power in our closets and going through our closets. And this wonderful woman here, her name is Tasha Porter, and she's a dear friend of mine. She was a P&G exec for many, many years. I met her when I lived in Germany. She was living in Ohio. She came on the live show. She did an incredible job, took us in her closet and talked about being in the finance world for so many years. And Tasha, unfortunately, passed away 48 hours following our live show. You know, I've talked about it very openly. Dear friend, has children, my kids' ages. Her husband is a wonderful, wonderful person. And this was very unexpected. And I wanted just to shout out to Tasha tonight, because Tasha was born with a hearing deficiency. And one thing that was very close to her heart was giving back to her community in Cincinnati. And through something called Ohio Voices, they are looking to create a room for children with hearing impairment. And they're looking for $10,000, and they're trying to raise that by October 29th, which would be her 50th birthday. Tasha passed away unexpectedly from an embolism at the age of 49. And I just wanted to give her a shout out tonight. So I thank you, Kristen, and all of the guests and everybody watching for allowing me to do this tonight. It's something very near and dear to my heart. And I know as women and men of a certain age, this is something that we may have been affected by friends or family with embolisms, blood clots, that type of thing. And so if you have it in your heart, they are taking donations through Friday, which will be the 29th, which will be her 50th birthday. So thank you for allowing me some airtime to celebrate Tasha Porter.
And as soon as this is over, I'm going to go and make my donation, because of all the asks that we get, when somebody has a personal ask and shares a story like that, you know, it really resonates with me. So thank you for sharing that, Amy. And, you know, anybody who's watching, you know, please be generous, because this is this is one of those things that's going to touch many lives.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And to Jerry Porter, who I know is watching tonight, thank you. We love you. And thank you to everybody that has supported us through this. It's just one of those very, very sad things, but so much love out there for Tasha. So we're going to transition into a fantastic show tonight, because we're going to talk about getting strong and getting moving and how we can do that, because it's so important for us. And we talk about this so often, how we tend to put ourselves on the back burner. We tend to not invest in ourselves or make ourselves a priority. So I'm very excited to bring out our first guest tonight. So we'll do a little drum roll. I'm still waiting on that drum. I said last week, oh, look at that. We're getting a drum sent to us from one of our viewers. I hope she's coming out of the green room. I'm not sure. It seems to be a little delayed. She's probably back there having the time of her life. But Jill Angelo from Gennev, come on and join us. There she is.
Thank you for having me, Amy and Kristen. It's great. It's great to be here. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. I'm such a fan of Jill. I've known Jill for a couple of years now, and just to see what she has created and done around around telehealth, around menopause, and really being a voice and a force in that space. So, October, we've been celebrating a lot of companies around menopause because it's World Menopause Month.
It is World Menopause Month. It kind of started with World Menopause Day, which is actually October 18th. And now it's really spread to like the whole month to just drive awareness. And it's something women need to know about. So I'm thrilled with how many companies now there are talking about this topic and making people more aware of it. It's so needed.
Isn't it amazing? So you're really seeing a real change in the trajectory around opening this dialogue around menopause.
Yeah, we are. I started the company. I started Gennev. So Gennev is virtual menopause care platform. And at Gennev.com, you're seeing a view of the website there. You can come to book telehealth appointments with doctors. All of our physicians are gynecologists. We're seeing patients in all 50 states. We also have a team of health coaches that work more on the nutrition and lifestyle and emotional wellness that women also need during this time of life. We have a line of wellness products, supplements. We've got the definitive multivitamin for menopause that a lot of women really use for energy and mood and immune strength support. And then we have a lot of free education for menopause. More than anything, this is something every woman will go through. And yet we never really have the menopause talk as we grow up. And so I appreciate, shows like this, Amy, where you're just bringing this education to women.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing because, it used to be, quote, taboo. No one's going to say the M word. And I fell into that trap a little bit when I even started my business, because I thought a lot of people were reaching out and saying, I think you should talk about menopause. And I'm perimenopausal. So, I talk about this openly now. And really, it's amazing how when you open the dialogue on these things, all of a sudden it creates this community. And it creates this safe space of saying, you know what, I'm going through this. So maybe you are too. And it's amazing. So I've seen you thrive. And if you wouldn't mind sharing, Jill, just a little bit about your journey, really why this was on your heart to do what you're doing, because I love the story behind the brand.
Yeah. I think like so many of us, we've all had a career or, something that we've always tied our identity to. I grew up in the tech industry. I was at Microsoft for many, many years. And I left there about 5 years ago to start Gennev, simply because I wanted, obviously, to do something for women, specifically in terms of building our own confidence. But then also, I started to see women of, the 40s and 50s, kind of at the plateau of their career in many ways, leaving the workforce. And it was kind of like, why? And, in the women's networking group that I ran at the company at the time, I was hearing conversations around, and kind of hushed conversations around, hot flashes or inability to sleep or just brain fog. And they couldn't clearly think and what was going on. So I heard the dialogue changing. Gennev was really has been my mission and passion project to change that, not only for working women, but for all women. To not only bring education, but to get their symptom needs met from experts that can actually help them. And, we're seeing this dialogue start to really build. And especially when you give people permission and you start to have the conversation, like you said, they share, and it takes community and conversation to just get this going so that all women feel comfortable with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's so incredible. And it's interesting because we have Tom Bushkie on tonight from hellowater. And, as a male, I'm curious to kind of get his feedback on this too. But I think opening this dialogue among women is so important for your relationship with your spouse or partner, as well, because if, my husband, for example, I know he kind of wants to know what's going on, and it gives him a better understanding of kind of this whole process. And I think that's really important.
We've even written like a feature around how to talk to your partner about what you're going through. We'll have men email us or come to Gennev and say, help me help my partner or my wife, simply because the men in our lives don't want to see us suffer, and they want to also be a part of it. So I think that point's really, really well taken. We need to have the conversation on both sides.
Yeah. So once again, we've got Angelo here, who's the CEO and founder of Gennev.com. We'll have the website in our comments, and they're also sharing a special code tonight for 15% off. If you go onto their website and you go to their shop section and look through their products, they're amazing. I'm a fan of all. I love your Vitality. The vitamin is amazing. It certainly helps me. And, another program here it is, it's Gennev More 15 for special savings. So go ahead and do that. And if you have questions for Jill will be, once she leaves the stage and we bring out somebody else, she'll be on with us till the end. So if there's questions for you, and they have a whole variety of coaches that have, she can steer you in the direction of those questions that you might have. The other thing about Gennev I love is your Facebook group, because you have a great community there where you can actually kind of share your story, which is so important.
Yeah, it just gets women talking about it. One thing to bring up, Amy, because we're kind of at the end of World Menopause Month and kind of a menopause awareness, one thing we launched to kind of celebrate and get, help women see how much we can thrive through this period of life is a walking program. We've called it the Get Moving program. It's completely free. It's walking.gennev.com, or just go to gennev.com and you'll find it there as well. You can search on it. And basically what this does is it gets us out walking. We worked with former director of fitness from Prevention, Michelle Stanton, to develop this program. And basically it's a 30-day program. There's a fitness version. So no matter where you're at, we just want to get women moving and feeling good, both mentally and physically. And so that's kind of my free gift, if you will, just to get moving and to get feeling good. And as it gets colder, bundle up. Even 10 minutes every day outside is proven to boost your mood. So you don't have to walk a lot. It's just little bits that just make a huge difference.
And exercise is so important because it helps us get those feel-good hormones going. Yeah. And we're dealing with enough hormones, our whole life we're dealing with hormones as women. And so I love that you're getting women to move more. And especially the pandemic, I think people became more sedentary and started spending more time in front of screens. And that means they're not getting outside, synthesizing vitamin D, because we need that sunlight to elevate our mood as well. And this all goes together because when we get that sunlight early in the day, when we get outside, we then sleep better too. So I love that you're addressing this through a proactive program like walking that anybody can really do.
Anybody can do. I think we've got these 3 tips up here, and I love that you talked about focus on making progress, not being perfect. That's big in my narrative. I think that's so important. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think so much of the time, what keeps us from doing something like a walking program or any kind of fitness activity, or even like diet nutrition, I'm sure you'll agree, is will I do it right? Will I, am I doing it right? And we're always doubting ourselves. And from a walking perspective, and you'll hear this from Coach Michelle Stanton in our Facebook group talking about it, it's just get out and start doing. You're gonna, and then she gives tips and tricks on posture and breathing, and even mental tips on how to, have the self-awareness and self-care. I just see a comment coming up from Jojo about that. It's huge. And so just by doing, we're also offering tips along the way that so to help you get the most out of it. I think that's what's perfect, is what's perfect for you to get what you need out of it.
I love that. And sometimes, I looked at Kristen kind of as an accountability partner in my life for a lot of things, and I think I'm talking for you, Kristen, but I think you kind of look to me for that too. I mean, we do talk like 90 million times a day, but there have been times when she said, hey, did you do that today? Or did you? And how great is that when you have somebody to say a little nudge to say, I see Brigitte just put a comment up here. She's a big walker. She probably nudges people to say, hey, get out there and walk. And I think that's so important.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's not walk in what you're wearing. No need to change clothes. Okay. That is so true. I mean, after living in Europe for a while, they walked rain, sleet, snow. It didn't matter. I mean, they were out there walking every day. So you just it doesn't matter what you're wearing.
Yeah, it doesn't. You can walk kind of, obviously being warm enough is probably the key thing, especially as the winter's changing or as the weather's changing. But yeah, you don't need special gear in any way, shape, or form. I think if there's one thing I miss about commuting, now that we're all kind of working from home, I liked the walk as part of my commute. And now I've just got to figure out how to get that in different ways throughout the day. So when you think about wearing whatever you have on, I was in my business attire when I would commute, and it worked out just fine.
I am just going to say,
Nice.
I have a pair of my walking cradles, loafers.
Great.
How cute are these? They are so comfortable. My husband and I walked to the farmer's market on Saturday. I wore these shoes and I was like, okay, I could walk all day, so we also have a code for walking cradles. They are great. And when you're comfortable, you are much more likely to take the stairs than the elevator.
It's true. It's true. And I love the fact, the third tip on there, I know the graphic's not up there, but we'll share that afterwards. It's always available. We always put them in our Facebook group as well, is keep a pair of sneakers and socks in your car. Unless you have a smelly teenage boy, then I would say, because we got enough of those. But we just put the Walking Cradles code up. That's awesome. If you go to walkingcradles.com, they have 25% off any shoe on their site. They're an amazing company. Amazing company. So you know what? It's true. And just have it there, have it at the ready, and just start walking. So Jill, I love that. You're doing so many great things and inspiring women to action. And that's what it's all about.
Thank you. It is. It's at the end of the day, my mission and our mission at Gennev is to help women thrive through this hormonal transition that we all get to go through. And some of us have a harder time than others. But you know what? If you point people in the direction of the things that empower you to thrive, to get moving, things like the walking program, etc., you're going to do so much better. And you're doing it within the supportive community of what we all have to offer. So thank you for what you're doing. And it's just always a pleasure to talk to you both, and thrilled to be here.
Thanks, Jill. Well, we're going to send you back to the green room, although we know you're probably having so much fun back there. We're going to have you back out, but was there a lot of good stuff back there tonight?
It was amazing. The food, thank you. Snacks, loved it.
I know. I even heard there might be a little champagne or something. I don't know. So you'll have to fill us in when you come back. But thank you so much, Jill. Please go to Gennev. We've got everything linked here. Sign up for the walking program. Give us a holler out in the Facebook page and say, hey, I heard Jill. I'm excited about this. Let us know how the products are working. That's what it's all about. And we'll have Jill back on. I know that. We love Jill. Thanks so much. Isn't that amazing?
She's amazing. And making it easy for women to get the information, getting that friction out of the way. I think so many women don't know how to find the information they need. So that's wonderful.
Sign up for walking. You know what? Let's do it together. Let's inspire somebody. Tag a neighbor, tag a friend, tag your mom or sister, whoever, brother, whatever. Let's get walking. Let's get moving. It's so important to keep moving.
And better for the planet too. Let's be clear here. There's really no downside to walking more and driving less, or walking more and sitting less. There's only good things that can come from that.
Absolutely. Oh, loved it. All right. Well, we've got another great segment coming up. I'm going to put my apron on, and we talked about aprons. This is we're kind of experimenting with this, and this is really fun because we get feedback from the show, and people said we love the cooking segment. Can you move it up a little bit? And we're like, well, absolutely. You ask and we will do. So I've got on a new apron tonight. Kind of bringing out, I have different aprons, because I spend so much time in the kitchen. I have to have an apron. So this is my apron for tonight. And we are very excited to welcome a very special guest. I'm super excited for a couple of reasons. And well, I'll say that when he comes out. But let's give a little drum roll for our next guest, if we can get him out of the green room. We have Mr. Tom Bushkie. Look at that. There he is.
Ladies, it's so nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. And you're sitting there in Wisconsin. Look at this. Love the variety. And she's a foodie. So this is just perfect.
What a great show you guys have. I think Jill did a great job on the last segment. And if I can only add a couple things, the walking thing is huge. One, you should most people don't do a walking program because they never get started.
Right.
So just getting out for 5 minutes and setting your timer going 5 minutes today. And the next day, maybe it's 6 minutes. But you got to start somewhere. And 5 minutes is something anybody can do. And even if you're tired when you get out of bed, in 5 minutes of walking outside, your blood is going and you just feel so alive and so energetic. So great.
Isn't that great? I'm so glad you got to meet Jill too. She's amazing and they're doing amazing things over there. And we teed it up a little bit there with you. So I hope we're not putting you on the spot here, but we did say, when we were talking about menopause, and it's a word, we say it out here on the show all the time. As a man, is this something that you're hearing a little bit more?
See, I wasn't ready for this segment. I wasn't ready for this, but I'll take it.
We promised we'll transition, but I know.
I'm going to have to reach back to Jill because I think she said it right when she said, you just want to help your significant other or your spouse go through, just understand what they're going through. And listening is one thing, but if there's something else you can do to make it better, we're all for it. I think it makes everybody's lives better if we're trying to help out.
Jojo just said I'm dying. Sorry, Tom. We didn't mean to put you on the spot. You know what? I love it. So we are going to transition over to, Kristen, did you want to go first?
No, I was just going to say every person on the planet will be affected by menopause in one way or another, whether it's your mother, your sister, your wife, your daughter. So, menopause is a big issue that affects the entire population. And the more we can mitigate the bad side effects of that, the better for everybody.
Well, a big part of it. What's so true. And the big part of it is, hydration. So Tom's a natural. There you go. You're already getting a shout out. It's so true though. I mean, when we talk about hydration, so I was introduced to hellowater over the summer. And it's really funny because Tom's actually in Wisconsin and I didn't even put that together until later on. And through a friend of mine and said, you got to check this out. And I went to, I think it was Target. And if there's anybody watching in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, there was a huge end cap of hellowater. And I saw it and I thought, wow, this is amazing. Like this stuff is really cool. I have it here. I drink it every day. Tom is really the brains behind the brand. And so can you kind of introduce us? I know you guys are going to be making up some cocktail mocktails, but can you just kind of share your story and a little bit about hellowater? And I know Chrissy will put up the website so everybody can see.
Yeah, I'd love to. So I've been a nutritionist for about 20 years and worked with a lot of people. And one of the things that people want is very simple solutions to weight management and health. So how can I get healthier? The simplest way possible. And so that, in my mind, that created the opportunity to create these fun waters, right? We call them super waters. So it's all about hydration, but you also get to pick a benefit. So you're not just getting hydrated, you're also picking a benefit. And the benefits that I started with was a prebiotic water. And the reason being is that it really helps gut health and it really helps suppress appetite. And those are two things that a lot of clients that I was working with were very concerned about. And so the idea was to make a fun, fresh delivery system for chicory root fiber. And that's how we got started. And that was almost 5 years ago already. From there, we've gone on to create a line of drinks with some patented formulas for immune and defense. And then we've also done, which I know Kristen is drinking right now, we also done a high pH alkaline water, which is fantastic for getting your body more alkaline than acidic. And when that happens, you have less inflammation in the body. You just feel better overall. And it also absorbs a little faster. And I know it tastes great too. It's probably the best tasting water out there.
Wow. Kristen, can I just ask one quick question? I want you to take the lead on this, but the alkaline water, we had a question from Montana. It came in earlier today. And Christy, you don't have this because I didn't give it to you beforehand. But there was a question from somebody about water and the alkaline, because she's had kidney stones that were more, I think, acid related. So is the alkaline a better type of water for that?
Yes, when your body's less acidic, when we ionize the water, it separates the molecules into alkaline molecules and acidic molecules. And then we funnel out the acidic molecules, just leaving the alkaline in there. And again, anytime your body's less acidic, you're just going to feel better. You're going to operate better.
And for kidney stones, you really do want to stay, it's very important to stay well hydrated. That's really important.
Yeah,
important.
Exactly. When you talk about prebiotic, what exactly does that mean? Because I've heard probiotic. What's prebiotic?
Yeah, that's a great question. And actually, prebiotic is the number one thing you can do to immediately affect your gut health. And prebiotic, think of it as like you put fertilizer on your grass so your grass grows better, thicker, faster. Prebiotic is the fertilizer for probiotic, for the good bacteria in your gut. And so we use the chicory root fiber, and we're the first ones to put chicory root fiber into water, make it taste phenomenal, keep it all natural, no sugar at all, and just 5 grams of fiber, which is about 20% of your daily fiber intake in one bottle.
Wow, I love it.
And those of us eating the standard American diet are woefully lacking in fiber. It is a real problem. Processed foods take out all that fiber, all that beneficial fiber. And we've really moved away from a largely plant-based diet. So we're not getting all that prebiotic fiber that's the food for those probiotics. And that, of course, affects our whole immune response. So this is really important stuff.
Interesting. Now, Jessica had a question here. It says, is this powder or premixed?
Yeah, it's premixed.
Through a little bit? Yeah.
If you want to hold up yours, that's the prebiotic version. And so it's a 16-ounce ready to drink. It's got enough flavor without being too overwhelming, but definitely more than a hint. So if you're just looking for a hint of water, that's not us. We wanted to provide a good amount of flavor without being too overwhelming, but still do it all naturally and still have no sugar in it.
Yeah, the no sugar thing is enormous. It's huge. I think this is the prebiotic. This is orange mango, which I'm and no sugar, which Kristen will be very proud of me because I'm really, really trying to shed the sugar. And I love the design of the bottles. That's amazing. They're beautiful. Like they're really cool. Like you could actually use them afterwards and put flowers in them or something like as a vase. They're beautiful. Through this one, you can see kind of the mango and the orange. It's really well designed.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, Kristen, do you want to take the lead on what you're fixing tonight? Because I know we're using some hellowater.
We always like to do a little cooking segment, and I thought it would be fun to do a cocktail, but I did want to do a seasonal cocktail. So what I decided to do was take the Hello alkaline water and make ice cubes with it because I want to. Yeah, so I've got my cocktail glasses ready, and we're going to have a little cocktail party here. What we're making today is a pumpkin old fashioned. It just seems perfect for these cooler fall nights. Very simple recipe. You can, change it up and make it your own by, if you don't like bourbon, you can use mezcal, you can use whiskey, you could use whatever you want. But I am going to show you how simple this is for our little cocktail party here. So down we go. And all right. Okay. So I have got my cocktail shaker here.
How do you make the ice cubes that big? Is that a special?
Oh, I have a special ice cube maker. That I make these big. I love big ice cubes because they melt more slowly. So I have got some orange juice here. I have got a little bit of pumpkin puree.
Good. Not banana leaves. Banana peel.
No bananas this week, although I was tempted. I've got a little bit of maple syrup. I have got my bourbon.
There you go.
So got all that in there. I'm going to put 2 shakes. And, bitters are great because they are made from spices. And so they not only give us great flavor, they give us some health benefits. So a couple of shakes of bitters in there.
Interesting.
I've got my top on.
JoJo just said she has a big square one for an ice cube that she bought off Amazon.
Ooh, I love that. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead, pour this in my glass. I'm going to make 2 of these.
And you just took the alkaline water from the bottle and just froze it. I mean, that's that simple.
That's what I did. And then I've got a little burnt orange, and I thought it would really be fun. I found this at Trader Joe's. I love Trader Joe's. We should get them to sponsor us. This is candied ginger. So I burnt a little bit of the orange rind to bring out a little more flavor. I've got some candied ginger, and there we go. And here are some. I think a lot of us are out of practice with entertaining. So how simple is this? You saw how quick it was to make this cocktail. You could even put a little shake of pumpkin pie spice on top, and then just put out some little nibbles. So I've got some nice potato chips. This is very, very European. Just some olives, and then these rosemary flavored nuts that I found at Trader Joe's. All these little snacks, simple, go perfect with the cocktail. And we've got the alkaline water ice cubes to kind of like level up the wellness on our cocktail just a little bit.
I think that's awesome. So Tom, you're being thrown for a loop here tonight. Did you ever think there'd be an alkaline ice cube?
No, actually we haven't, but I've been drinking them in the green room with Jill, so we approve.
It's amazing. So, when I think that's easy to do. We'll post all of the recipes we posted in our Facebook group, which is the Meant for More Network. We'll have all of that up there. We have a special code for hellowater. You can order it. I can find it here at Stop and Shop, which is an East Coast. I know you can find it. Where else can you find? I know you can order it online. You can use the code Amy20 for 20% off. So where can people find it? They're watching all over the place.
Yeah, predominantly the Northeast is where we have most of our distribution. We moved down to the Mid-Atlantic and the Southeast, and we moved over to the Midwest and Texas right now. But like you said, hellowater.com will get you there. If I can give a quick secret, when you go to hellowater.com for your first order, the flash sale that says 25% off, so you can save the Amy20 code for your second order and get another discount for your second order.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's awesome. Thanks for doing that. All right. Well, we'll put that up. And then, what I think there's some tips too. Chrissy, if you have those, we have some 3 tips about really staying hydrated, because I think that's such an important part, of this segment. And I'm kind of putting Chrissy on the spot to see if she'll bring that up. But we talked about the fact that we need to be drinking enough water, and it's something we just don't do. 25 grams of fiber each day. Is that something, Tom, that we should be shooting for?
Yep, 97% of Americans don't get that much. And so we created one, not so you have 5 bottles of hellowater, but so it complements your other diet. There's a lot of other great vegetables and beans and legumes, and avocado, and different foods that you can get you're going to get your fiber with, but most people end up short. And when you end up short, you end up with gut health problems, and that leads to all sorts of symptoms. So we're a very simple solution to do that. We also have a lot of people who just hate drinking plain water. There's probably people watching right now that say, I can't drink 8 glasses because I just don't like the taste of plain water, which is why we created a flavored version as well.
Yeah, that's interesting. I know. Kristen always talks about putting some lemon water, starting your day with lemon water. And I think you've gotten a lot of people on the bandwagon about that. There actually
and interestingly, lemon goes in acidic, but it turns alkaline in the body.
There you go, Kristen.
So starting at least waking up in the morning and making sure your first beverage is water. You could add the juice of half a lemon or half a lime. I always remind people to use a straw to protect their tooth enamel. But when we start our day hydrating, it's a way to just get that head start on that 8 ounces of water, every hour for 8 to 10 hours a day.
And I think it's true. Now, you two can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but as we age, like I'm thinking of my dad who suffered from Parkinson's. It was always a big thing whenever I went to the doctor with him, or my sisters or brothers did. Drink enough water. As you age, you're not drinking enough water, right? You drink less water.
Well,
is that true?
We also lose our sense of thirst. But this little tiny juice glass, I asked my mother-in-law, who has struggled with kidney stones for years, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh, I drink 8 of those a day." I'm like, "This is like 3
Shot glass.
ounces." You know?
Yeah. Isn't that funny? Oh, so I know that it's difficult. So we have to keep people hydrated.
Absolutely. And I love that cocktail that you made. That's nearly a guilt-free cocktail. So I think you can have 2 of them each night instead of 1 and really enjoy yourself.
Exactly. I love it. Thanks for sharing that. And here we go. We've got HelloWater up here. They have a defense. They have prebiotic. They have all sorts of different flavors. And you can buy them. If you go on the website, it's really cool because they kind of mix and match the flavors. So you can check them all out. I have a son who plays soccer and ordered a bunch for the team, and they loved them. So, I mean, I'm a big fan, Tom. I think you're doing great stuff. I know Kristen loves the alkaline water. So thank you so much for being on the show tonight.
You guys have a great thing going here, and I wish you all the luck, and thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you, Tom.
Head back and we'll see you later.
Good. Looking forward to questions.
All right. That's awesome.
Amy, that's so great, because so much better for the kids to drink that than Gatorade.
Gatorade or Powerade or all that
Right.
sugar they're putting in their body and everything else. And I love the fact, I have to say the whole fiber thing, it's a really big deal. And so everybody that is watching tonight, check it out and check out their website. And I love that he's giving a kind of a double savings. So that's really special. I love it. And thanks for that cocktail. I know somebody
Oh, it's so good. Amy, I've got yours right here.
I know. If I could just, well, you know what? They're probably sipping them back in the green room. That is a beautiful drink. Well, we're talking about strength training tonight too. And we've got another guest tonight who is just a wealth of knowledge. So drum roll. And if Noelle, if you're ready to come on out, we are ready for you. Oh, there she is. Look at that. Isn't this awesome? We're you have to unmute. Yep. There
yeah,
you
I had
go.
to put my cocktail down. Sorry.
I know. Well, it's tough to, we kind of get this from our guests every week. I think we're just going to have to scale it back in the green room because they don't want to leave.
I know, they're back there sipping, the pumpkin old fashions. They're nibbling on the chips and the olives. We always have caviar back there.
Always.
Noelle, I'm so happy that you're here. And
Thank you.
So excited
to be here.
get introduced to you and what you do. So Fit Food Club is what we're talking about. We'll have her website up, but we're going to talk to Noelle about the importance of strength training. And boy, I'm telling you, I don't know about you, Kristen. I know you are fit as a fiddle, but like push-ups and planks and all that stuff, it's hard. It's hard. We kind of lose our strength. So I want to learn how to get even stronger.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, I love the flow of this show tonight because everything is so connected, from Jill to Tom to strength training. And, one thing that Jill mentioned is that so many of us have a fear of starting because we want to be perfect and we just don't know how to start. And that's why I just say to everybody, you've got to choose to do it for yourself. It's, one day or day one. What's it going to be? And, I have people in my classes from age 15 to age 75. So,
wow.
Strength training is for anybody and everybody, men, women, everybody can get involved in it. And it's just, my phrase to everyone is you do you. So you don't have to use heavy weights. You don't have to use weights at all. You just got to start somewhere. And it's so important for women, especially because strength training really helps stave off osteoporosis. And we need those strong bones to carry us through, because we don't want to, get injured or break something as we age, because it's just, recovery is that much more difficult. So,
and we get more hesitant around that stuff. I mean, I feel like, especially as a dad who had Parkinson's and my mom suffered with rheumatoid and a few other things. And, as you age, you start to slow down, you take less risks. And I don't want to do that. Like, I want to be able to get out there and walk, like on Jill's walking program on the ice, and, have the right shoes to do it, to stay safe. But I mean, we got to keep getting strong. So what can we do, Noelle? Show us some tips and tricks to getting strong.
Okay. So I figured tonight I would just show some basic exercises that everybody can do. I have some light weights that I'm going to show you with, but I'm also going to introduce something that I use in my classes all the time, which is a looped resistance band. You can find these on Amazon. You can get a whole set of them at various resistances. They're very inexpensive. And what I love about them is they're super portable. So you can take them with you on vacation if you want to. You can just put them in your bag and take them to the park. So if you're walking in that walking program, you can stop for 5 minutes and do a little training for yourself with a band like this. So I will show you how you can do all the exercises either with weights or with a band like this. So for example, I'm going to put it around my wrist, and I can do bicep curls by putting my elbows pinned at my sides and just go down to my quads and up all the way to my shoulders.
How easy
Like
peasy
so.
is that? Yeah, but
So
you're getting that
simple.
resistance.
Yes. So
I
this
love
is
it.
good because with, with weights, like these are 5 pounds, all I'm lifting is 5 in each arm. But with the band, I'm using my own body weight. So the resistance is variable, and it might be more than just 5 pounds, for example. So you can aim for like 3 sets of 10 with either the weights or with the band. And by the way, if you're using weights, you can start with 2s, you can start with 5s, you can start with 10s, wherever you are, it doesn't matter. And you can also just start with your own body weight. It's no big deal. So you just got to start somewhere is the most important
and you're
thing.
tucking your elbows in. So you're keeping them nice
Yeah,
and tight
so
to
you
your side.
keep your elbows nice and tight on your sides. The other one is an external rotation. So you keep those elbows pinned and you fan them out. Just whatever your range of motion is.
Right.
Like so.
And your hands or your fingers are pointing up.
Your wrists are supine, so the wrists are facing upward. And you can also do the same thing, that same move, but with the band. Again, putting it around your wrist, pinning those elbows at your sides and going out and in. And you can change your hand angle facing up, like so, facing inward, or even facing downward. This really is good for that area between, where your bra strap meets your armpit, that kind of area, and that little part in the back too. This is really awesome for that. So again, like 3 sets of 10, you guys, and you can get, if you get these bands, you get various resistances. So you can show your own progress because you can move up from the lightest to the heavier and, do whatever you got to do. The other one I want to show you is going to help you with that walking program, which is just a simple squat. So you can just have your legs shoulder width apart, your whole feet. A lot of people think that you go into a squat based on your heels. You really don't. You want your whole foot from your big toe all the way down to your heels to get that squat. And you can just go down and up. You can put the weights above your shoulders. You can hold the weights at your chest. You can do no weights at all. And sometimes people think in a squat that you have to go super deep, like you have to almost have your butt to the floor.
Right.
Actually, that's not necessary. You want to be able to squat all the way to like a chair, or even a slightly bit lower, but you don't feel like you have to squat all the way to the floor to get something out of it. That's not necessary. You're going to still work your glutes and your hamstrings and your inner thighs by getting into that squat by, versus not doing it at all. And you can put a resistance band to add some spice to it if you put it above your knees and just go into the squat with that around your knees. And always think when you go into a squat that you kind of push your knees out as you go down and push through your whole foot to push your body up. That's where you're going to get the most effective results for powering those leg muscles.
Oh, I love that. And it's so easy to do and do at home. So put in
easy.
the comments, guys, if we're going to start this and try these exercises, because this is amazing. We're going to get rid of our flabby arms. So when we go on that girls golf weekend, I mean, we're going to be good to go. It's so easy to well, I just want to share this story because a friend of mine was talking about her mom, and she's in her late 70s. And, during the whole pandemic, when you're home, she wasn't doing things like getting out of the car to go grocery shopping or putting her groceries away and all these things that we think about, we don't think about that we're not doing. And I really think that, for those of us that might have older parents or in-laws or something like that, to encourage them around the strength, they can do that at home.
Absolutely. Functional strength is so vital. Just to carry your groceries home. Like I live in New York City, so I'm carrying my groceries. I'm walking around with the bags. That's weight training right there. You also have to be able to climb stairs. if you're climbing out of the subway or climbing in your home, wherever it is, you need to be able to do these things as we age. So this type of strength training is so important. And like I said, I have people who are, in their 70s taking my class. There's no reason that you should feel like you can't do it. Anybody can do it, and everything can be modified as well. So if it's something that you feel like I'm not ready for that, or I have an injury, or this is a weak part of my body, you have to start somewhere. And if I know that, I can give you tips and help you modify as needed.
And I think in our sort of work from home life that we've ended up with, there's a way to just incorporate these into little breaks that you're taking throughout the day, so it doesn't feel like, I need an hour to exercise. You can get your hour in 5-minute bursts throughout the day, which is going to help you stay productive, because just sitting in front of your screen and working nonstop for 3 hours, your productivity goes way down. So breaking that up with some of these exercises that will cumulatively add up to, big wellness benefits, it's a win for your brain, win for your body, and it makes you more productive.
And I think standing desks too, like my husband has a standing desk now at home, and, have those bands available right there, or, we just got to keep moving.
Yeah, you could be on a Zoom call, just doing
we might do this next week during
exercises, doing some squats.
I don't know. We never know what's going to happen on this show. Noelle has put some great tips together for us. She also has some great savings that you can reach out to her. I know we'll put those graphics up as well as have them in the comments. But, you mentioned day one or one day, and put aside the fears and just start. And I think that's the trend with all of our guests tonight. It's making ourselves a priority, putting our health as a priority. And it's so easy to commit to everybody else and not ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love that one. And determine a goal and be specific and measurable. Oh, that's a big one. Kristen will be on that bandwagon.
I want to just say with that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And your goal just might be 5 minutes today.
Right.
And then, like Tom was saying, and then 6 minutes tomorrow. And you, one of my favorite all-time quotes is, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. And that's a quote from Arthur Ashe. And I love it because it breaks that big thing down into just starting where you are and just doing something instead of nothing.
Yeah, I love it. And invest in rest and recovery. You know why I like this one? Because I think this is such an important part of self-care and listening to our bodies. I reference the fact that we lived in Europe a long time, and I feel like Europeans do a much better job. If there's any watching right now, please put it in the comments, or give me a shout out, or Kristen a shout out. But they take better care of themselves around rest and recovery. When their body's tired, they rest. Whereas Americans, I think we get on this, hamster wheel and we don't rest. So I love that you put that up there, Noelle. Is that important for you?
It's very important. It's important to stave off injury. If you push yourself too far, you are probably going to regret it, because you need to listen to your body. You need to give, especially with strength training, those muscles time to recover. So you want to take days off, or you want to do things like foam rolling, Epsom salt baths. It doesn't have to be very expensive, like getting massages and so forth, especially in COVID world. People might not want to do something like that, but you can just do something very simple. Like you can massage your own muscles yourself with a foam roller. Right. Epsom salts really help with recovery. And just, again, like Tom was mentioning, hydration is excellent for recovery. You've got to get, juice into those muscles, and you have to be hydrated to fuel your body in order to get the maximum results from your strength training. So, it's really important. I never go a week without taking a couple of days completely off from doing anything. I mean, except for in New York City, walking around, of course.
Right. But you know what, giving ourselves permission to do that, I think it's so important. I know there's a couple of graphics, Christy, if you wouldn't mind putting those up. We've got some special savings that Noelle is offering tonight. And Noelle, we would love to have you back, because I think there's a lot more we can talk about around strength training, some easy things that we can incorporate into our routines. You can use the code TWOFER, bring a friend to class. You can go to the Fit Food Coach, and learn more about Noelle. So thank you so much for offering that for people to get active. And that's our whole mission with this show, is to get people inspired to do something different and inspired to action. So we really just appreciate that, and so happy that our paths have crossed.
Thank you so much. And just to let everybody know, my classes are pay as you wish. So I never want financial reasons to prevent someone from getting fit. So that is a key element to my motto, that, I just want it to be accessible for all. So if you do the 2 for code, just know that it's pay as you wish. So, you can get 2 for 1 for whatever, is whatever you're able to contribute to the cost. So you can just send me a message, a DM, and I'm happy to get you set up.
Oh, that's amazing. I love it. Well, we're down to like four minutes, I think, and we're going to bring out our guests again. If Tom and Jill, if they can get away from that. There's Jill. She's got a meeting. Oh, there they are. Isn't this a great show?
It's been awesome.
So
it went fast.
I know, it always goes fast, but we're keeping to the time, which is fabulous. There was a question that came in, Tom, to me actually, and it was about, it's Nancy from Illinois. So Nancy, thank you for watching. She said, if we open up a bottle of HelloWater, do we have to drink the whole thing? Is it okay to let it sit out during the day, or do we have to refrigerate it? Great question.
Yep. No, you don't have to refrigerate it. It's a great question. I think, we made it so you can drink the whole thing. We call it the chuggable effect in the industry. But no, you could sip on it all day long.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you for asking that. I think it's a great question. I don't know. I think this was just a great show, full of super information. And, everything is live. This will always be on our Facebook pages. And, you can go back and watch it and learn more about every one of our guests. But I just really enjoyed this. I learned some great things.
Well, and I love that everything was connected. The muscles are 75% water. So we need that water so that we can walk and we can do the exercises. And it really tied in nicely, because we want people to move more. We want people to enjoy life more. And our goal should always be to get our health span to match our lifespan. And getting knowledge from experts in the field and people who are creating products that solve problems. This is great. I love it. It's so empowering. Thank you all.
Thank you all for being here. Chrissy, I don't know if you have the other codes for us, but we have a variety of people that have gotten involved with Meant for More. As you know, we had our live event that Tom was going to be a part of, Jill was going to be a part of, and we've pivoted that because we had to, given the pandemic and where we were and people's comfort levels. We're really excited because we're talking about doing a girls golf. Girls just got a golf. We have had overwhelming response. We will be sharing more about that in the coming weeks. We also have some incredible sponsors that are involved with us that, we take a lot of pride in that because we like the story behind the brand. You heard tonight from Jill. You heard from Tom. You've heard from Angelia with A Method. She was on my podcast as well. These are people that are doing amazing things and really making differences for women. And I just think it's fantastic. So we've got the A Method up there. We've got Satya Jewelry, which is a company that has just been really, really lovely to work with. Once again, we're not affiliated with these companies. We're not getting commissions from these companies. These are companies that have aligned because they believe in our mission and we believe in them. American Blossom Linens is an American-made linen company. They're incredible. There's codes here. So please peruse this and the comments. And this is a prescription drug company that actually kind of helps you with savings, and it's delivered to your door. So Scripto, thank you as well. So just overwhelming support from people all over. And I have a blast doing this.
Yeah, this was really fun. And that cocktail is really good. I hope everybody's going to make one of those.
And check back last week because there was banana in a mug. This unbelievable.
The banana mug muffin.
The banana mug muffin. And I mean, every week there's a great recipe. It's healthy. And we're just so excited. So thank you, Noelle. Thank you, Jill. And thank you, Tom. for joining us tonight. And we'll be back next week. We've got a great show. We've got a new brand. We're talking about Hello Hazel. We've got Susan Feldman on next week. We also have, Kim Vapneon. We've got an incredible show. So there's more to come. And Kristen.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
All right.